sports? Do you like listening to people talk about sports? Do you like reading people's writing about sports in terms of blogs and articles? If you said yes to any of these questions, then do yourself a favor and check out www.bellyupsports.com. They are the wonderful host of our podcast, and they are a great website that has tons of different blogs, articles, and podcasts on the sports you want to know about. Check them out. You won't regret it. Hello and welcome to, I don't know what I'm doing. Hello and welcome. There we go. Thank you, Greg. Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Baseball and Whatever. This is our first, and can it be a first annual if this is the first time we've ever done it? Okay, it works for me. First annual Halloween spooktacular, scaretacular episode of Baseball and Whatever. We'll do our regular baseball talk, and then we are doing all Halloween. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, we got me dressed up, Vinny went all out with the eye black and everything, or the eyeshadow. I don't know what that technically would be. And
eye black, I think.
Eye black. And then we got
eye black, a little bit of Pirates, a little bit of Billy Joe Armstrong mixed in there.
And then we got Greg up in the corner looking like a cowboy. All right. So, we're here. We got Gozer, we got the Keymaker, and we got myself. We're ready to no Ghostbusters reference there, boys. Nothing.
There we go. No, okay. I got it.
All right. Thank you. All right.
It was well done.
All right. Anyway, we are here today. We're gonna talk about the potential Cubs first baseman. Greg will recap a little more Sox offseason moves potentially. I think we got some discussion on AL and NL awards for the MLB, and I am going to just lose my shit on the Blackhawks because oh boy,
they deserve it.
They deserve so much more.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh God. What a train wreck and shit show that organization has turned into. Anyway, after that, we'll talk about a fun thing like Halloween and our favorite movies, traditions, TV shows that dealt with Halloween, costumes. I got a couple good ones from when I was a kid that you guys might not know about. So I think you'll enjoy those. So
a spooky episode.
It is, but we always like to start off with our listener feedback and comments, and we have some. So Greg, take it away.
Thank you, Justin. Happy Halloween to everyone. If you're listening to this on Halloween or before, Justin, I got to say, you sent me something on Twitter about a game called Deathloop.
Yes.
You
$40
text
on
message.
Sale.
But you did. But see, here's what I don't understand, Justin. You are the analyst of Consider Them Slime backlog.
Okay.
And all you had to say about this game was, I heard it was good.
And then did you buy it?
So is this your strategy, Justin? So is this for you to make me buy it when you see it's on sale? Because I have a weakness.
We need
add it to the backlog, and then you will save your review for the time.
We need show material, backlog. Greg. So I figure if I can help.
He's just trying to help you out.
Yeah. I just wanted to pick apart your strategy right there. I'm like, what is Justin up to?
To be honest, it's like, I heard it's decent, but I don't know if I don't have time to play it right now. But I know who will buy it sight unseen, and that's Greg. So.
Is my mistake? But I think Andrew Reiner, friend of the pod, mentioned this on one of his favorite games. So
he did like it a lot. Yeah.
So I'm gonna check that out because he's usually on point right there.
Yes, he is.
Anywho, emails, tweets, YouTube comments, new subscriber, Jimmy Bolt. I work with that fella. Jimmy, thank you for subscribing. Jimmy just bought a Dodge Ram too. I'm glad I inspired him. With,
nice.
My Dodge Ram. Now he's got his and he's loving it. Because I think he was mopeding it to work. Ooh. I said, Jimmy, dude, you're going to have to do snow removal soon, buddy. Can't be riding the moped in to plow, 7 inches of snow or whatever. He could, but it's going to be a little Lloyd Christmas, in Colorado right there. So
it's true.
Not going to go so well. Anyway, thank you for subscribing, Jimmy. Comments, Dr. Chin from the text line writes in with their Always Sunny rankings episodes we did last week, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So Dr. Chin on the text line. Who's Dr. Chin, guys?
That would be
my buddy Zach.
That's your buddy Zach.
That's Zach,
okay.
Yeah. We got to give him a nickname.
Dr. Chin. All right. I like it. So from 5 to 1, 5, who got Sweet D pregnant? 4, Sweet D makes smut film. 3, I can't read in these glasses, guys. Charlie gets crippled. 2, the K recycles their trash, and 1 who pooped the bed. So Dr. Chin, Zach, thank you for sending in your Always Sunny episode rankings. Another message from the text line from Brian. I finally listened to your podcast today, and I loved it. Aw, thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
I don't believe him. Since I'm not, what does it say? Okay.
He's not a baseball fan.
When I read, I have to take my glasses off. Since I'm not a baseball fan, I skipped the baseball part and just listened to the episode about movie sequels. Yeah, I usually do that too. I remember watching Caddyshack 2 with you, Vinny, and hating it. Did you like that one, Vinny? I can't remember.
No, absolutely hate it.
I hope
you
not.
Hated that one.
I don't recommend that at all.
Right.
I don't even think we finished watching it when we did watch it.
Well,
we started it and stopped it.
I'm glad he listened to it. And I think his message is great for anyone else who's potentially listening to us, is even if you hate baseball, skip to the middle section and listen to the last segment. We are totally cool with that as long as you listen and write in. So thank you.
That's why we're baseball and whatever.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
Really quick too, guys. I forgot to mention this. We've been naming off some numbers since episode 29.
Yes.
I have a couple. I actually have a Cubs Sox one. I'm gonna go Jeff Samardzija, 29.
Oh wow.
Award for both.
Yep.
29 from the Cubs. I remember Fred McGriff.
Yep.
Yes.
I think he wore 29 back in whenever he was on the 99 or whatever.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
And for the White Sox, I said Samardzija, obviously Blackjack McDowell.
Yep.
And another fan not favorite, Keith Falk.
Oh, Keith! I just remember him going to Boston and doing really well in Boston.
I think it was 20. He was either 20 or 20. I'm pretty sure
he was 29. Yeah,
he was good. He was good. He was solid with Boston. He was hot and cold with us. So.
Tariq Cohen also. I know he's on the. Is he on the PUP list? I think for the Bears right now.
Yeah.
And
he's on the never play again list.
And then former Blackhawk and Detroit Red Wing Jason Williams, who he was on the team when they were god awful in the late 2000s, early 2010s. So.
Well, I know you're upset about the Blackhawks right now, Justin. We'll get to that.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Another 29. He's still on my poster while it's still up, but 3-time Stanley Cup champion Brian Bickle.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Depending on how you feel about that, but we'll get to that. What do you have for us, Vinny? You're fact checking us.
Yeah. Good job on all of those. I had a lot of the ones that you had, Greg. Also had Harold Baines.
Wow.
And Tony Pena for the White Sox.
Yep.
Harold Baines wore 29.
Yep.
Really?
For Baseball Reference.
Yeah. When he was always number 3. I'm maybe early.
Maybe early on. Maybe.
Yeah. Because three's retired for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check that. But
he might have been 29 early in his career.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
Robinson Chirinos for the Cubs.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Short stint. He's now who did he play for before that?
Texas, wasn't it?
Texas, I believe.
He wore 60. I remember he was a 61 guy, kind of like an odd number. So 29 with the Cubs. All right.
Yep. And Mike Fontenot.
Oh yeah.
As well.
Really?
A notable Cub. Yep.
I thought he was 17.
I think
there we go again.
Did he? I think he switched.
I think
he switched.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep. And then
interesting.
For Bears, I had Tariq Cohen, the great Adrian Peterson, and Raymond Harris.
Oh man! So we had the bad. Adrian Peterson was like the special teams
bad one.
Adrian.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
not
crazy.
Good. Not good. No, not good at all.
Good find on Mike Fontenot, man.
Very nice.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I liked him. I feel like he was one that I really wanted him to get more playing time. I thought he would do better as a full-time guy. And I think they gave him a little bit of time. And then I just remember, I think he went to the Giants then after that, right? Wasn't he in San Francisco?
I think so. I think that sounds right.
So yeah.
Or so was Ryan Terrio, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the Fontenot and Terrio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
not bad. Harold Baines wore 29 his rookie year. 19. 1 year, 1 season.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow. I never knew that. That's amazing.
I just feel like Harold Baines was like a revolving door between the White Sox and the Orioles, just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, which is fine. I mean, he was a great player. I enjoyed watching him play, but All right.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. That's
DH
right.
Hall of Famer.
Well,
Another one of those.
Speaking of the White Sox, Greg, you're going to talk about shortstops in potential preview for the shortstops.
So obviously the White Sox section is short and sweet today, but shortstop preview, who are we talking about? None other than Javier Baez coming to the White Sox in free agency. Probably signed for a lot of money. We need a new air conditioner. So there we go. Javi Baez, Chicago White Sox. No, wrong. We have Tim Anderson, and he's the heart and soul.
Yes, he is.
And that's pretty much it. Shortstop problem is solved. And he signed through 22, and the Sox have an option on him for 23 and 24. And he's only going to be making $9.5 million next year. I mean, He's not getting paid anything. So keep this guy around, give him more money. I don't care. I love Tim Anderson. And we weren't sure about him. There was a time when Tim Anderson and Carson Fulmer were our top prospects. And thank God one of them worked out. So TA, he's our shortstop. We love it. And I gotta say, guys, I'm kind of intrigued. I know I mentioned Javi Baez before, and I know I did the second base preview last week, but now I'm seeing a little something here and there about potentially looking at him this offseason. I don't know if that's true or not. That could be total BS. Who knows what he's going to get paid? The White Sox are cheap. We were talking about it. Probably a little. I think we're on the lower end. But on the other side, I think I mentioned it. White Sox could do with a little bit of power because we have guys in roles that we don't need Baez to be. You know,
that's true.
We got the on base guy, we got the leadoff guy, so it's not.
Have the high strikeout guy.
Yeah, it's totally. We'll see, but we could use the high strikeout guy. We don't have that.
Don't have one, right? So you might as well.
At least a glaring one, not like him. So TA is our shortstop, and that's our preview for that. And the only other thing I have for the White Sox before I hand it over to you guys is Tony officially announces he's returning next season. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yay! If anything, it'll provide plenty more gifs of him running. There'll be more questionable calls that we can discuss. Sports radio will jump on everyone's throats about what he's doing wrong and what he's doing right.
Career that he's going to ruin.
Exactly.
Threaten to quit and then become a total bum in the minor league.
I say embrace it. That's what I say. So.
I do want to see a couple more Tony ejections next year, get some real old school manager angry ejections. I miss those. And he used to be good at those, but he's getting slow and
old. He passed his prime on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing he's passed his prime. I was like, at least get tossed, like a Hall of Famer. Yep. But guys, that's all I have in the White Sox. Anything you want to mention on them?
No, I
want to point out to our listeners about Greg and his Tim Anderson. I'm never going to let you forget this, Greg. When he first came up, you thought Tim Anderson was a complete bum.
I sure
and that
did.
He should not have been there.
Nope.
But I'm glad you came around on him.
I did.
But I think most of that stemmed from Bruce Levine talking highly of Tim Anderson, and I think you're just
was that what it was?
I think that was part of it because I remember
sounds right.
We met up at my folks' house and I was like, "Hey, Bruce Levine was talking about Tim Anderson." You're like, "F that guy."
It's an immediate red flag for Greg. Anytime Bruce Levine writes something,
right? I did not think Tim Anderson was going to pan out, and I was used to, I remember those days where I'm like, oh, maybe we can still get something out of Jared Mitchell. We'll see, LSU superstar. Yeah, I was not sold on Tim Anderson. I'm like, I don't know where the White Sox are going. He's just, we have Jimmy Rollins at shortstop now.
Right.
And then this guy's our guy coming in next. Like, we're just screwed. Whew. Thank God I was wrong because this guy rocks. Yep. I am happy he is here, and I think he exceeded. I don't think we had this expectation for him either to be a team leader.
I didn't.
Soul, a solid leadoff man for a while. He's only really been a leadoff man for a couple years. Ricky had him batting, 7th and 8th there for a while, if you remember. So. It's nice to have him in this role. We got our shortstop, we got our leadoff guy, and he's a big part of our clubhouse and everything. So I think we got much better than what we thought we were getting. So to say the least with him. But you're right. No, I was not happy with him on the team very early on, and I'm glad I was wrong. So very glad.
Yeah, he's a super bona fide superstar now. I mean,
yes,
just needs he'd look really good on the north side. I mean, he'd get more airtime at least. So
he would, but you got Nicky Bats over there getting his singles,
Ed Howard's making his way up.
That's true. That's true. I keep forgetting about Ed Howard. That's right. I think that'll be a good thing. So
Ed Howard, that's such a old school name.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like Ed Howard. He's like 40-year-old rookie coming up or something. That's great. Good old Ed.
Ed Howard now batting Ed Howard. All right. Well, for the Cubs,
sounded like the announcer from was it the League of Their Own? The guy that
did I really?
Does a little bit.
See, when I don't try to do impressions, it comes out good. It's when I try to do one, it's horrible. So
then they all sound like Hawk Harrelson.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Put it on the board. All right. Vinny, I think you found this per Bleacher Nation. Anthony Rizzo is quite eager to re-sign with the New York Yankees. And I say you can have him. Enjoy.
Who cares?
No, yeah.
Who cares?
You know what? I appreciate his time as a Cub. And then he's gone. And he was one that even if they would have resigned him, I would not want it long term. His back is shot. I'm willing to, this may be a hot take. He's what, 32, 33, 31?
I think he's 32.
32?
Yeah.
Okay. Say he's 32.
Yeah.
I would argue
he's our age, Vinny.
I would argue within the next 3 years, he will be retired or out of the league altogether.
Oh,
by 35. Either due to his back problems or lack of production finally catching up with him. Mostly back problems, I think, is what's going to do him in.
Well, his production dipped this year.
Yeah.
He is 32 years old, by the way.
Okay. So I would say by 35. Oh, God, I'm going to be 35 this year. That's depressing.
Hey, you're out of the majors by 30.
Yeah, you're out of the majors, too.
I never even got in.
Never was.
I would say... I'm not even a has-been. Never was.
Never was.
I would be very hesitant. But see, the Yankees are the type of team that can just throw money and term at someone and they'll eat it if it doesn't work out. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll have to ask the 3-spot guys how they feel about that. But I don't know. I appreciate his time. He was a great player, but I think the injuries are catching up to him, and I'm definitely okay with moving on from him. So we'll see what happens. But Vinny, do you want to go over potential replacement first baseman for the Cubs this year?
Yeah, currently they have Frank Schwindel and Alfonso Rivas on the roster as their first basemen. I'm more than okay with them just rolling out with that because I'd rather see them spend the money on pitching. But these are the current free age set and soon to be free agent first basemen that don't have any options or anything like that. Freddie Freeman, Brandon Belt, nice. Rizzo, Asdrubal
Cabrera.
There we go. Yep. If I say it slow, I can't say it. Eduardo, and these are all players that have played first base, so they have some experience. Eduardo Escobar, Marwin Gonzalez, Kyle Schwarber, Yoshitomo oh gosh,
that guy.
Yep. Sugo, maybe I don't know.
The Rays guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Or the
Renato Nunez, Mitch Moreland, Ryan Zimmerman. I think he's going to retire.
I think he is. Yeah, I believe you're right.
He was.
Yeah, they still have him listed as for free agent.
I know. He played this year, I think.
Travis Shaw, Pablo Sandoval, and Greg Bird.
Ooh. Cousin Greg. All right.
Yeah. Brandon
from that list. I mean, even if there was a different name on there, I am on Schwindel, Team Schwindel for next year.
I would be happy to go with Schwindel. I mean, I'm looking at. I mean, Brandon Belt, maybe if you could get him for cheap, just as a replacement, if Frank Schwindel doesn't work out. I mean, at least he's a guy that's played first base. That's his whole career. I mean, Kyle Schwarber coming back to play first. How would you guys feel about that? Or just move on? It's time to move on.
I don't know where
I honestly don't know how he would play.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how he would do either. So
you know a guy that sounds interesting. I've always liked this guy. Maybe I'm just a fan of him, but Marwin Gonzalez can do a lot. And I know he hasn't had a lot of playing time the last couple years, but that he's like a Leori Garcia with a little more pop, maybe.
Okay,
because he can play just about everywhere, so he doesn't have to start for you. But he's like a dude to have on a team, you know, Mr. Reliable. So, and I know he's played a lot of
David
base.
Bodie.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You got David
Justin.
Bodie. See, I'm forgetting about all these Cubs. You know,
I was on the Bodie train.
Don't they have
like
him
3
signed
years
to
ago.
like 2030 for like?
I'm telling you,
$1
he's one of the smartest men in Major League Baseball. Had one decent half season and was like, "Hey, if you give me $2 or $3 million, I'll stick around for 5 years." And the Cubs were like, "Sure, let's do it." And that's I'd be okay with that. No, I mean, I'll be honest. Like maybe it's because the season. Well, I still can't watch the games. Doesn't matter. But now that the offseason's kind of kicked in. I'm kind of almost excited for this offseason, not because I think they're going to spend a ton of money. I hope they do spend some money, but just the fact that for the first time, we don't really know what they're going to do. And I mean, could it all blow up in their face? Of course. But like that, there's a little bit of excitement like, hey, let's see how this year goes. You know what I mean? Like last year, it was just a train wreck and you couldn't look away. Well, I did because, but yeah, like I'm almost a little excited for next season. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean,
I almost feel like there's no reason to look for a first baseman. I think
would just roll with Schwindel.
I mean, Schwindel had a short.
Yeah.
See, he didn't get a ton of playing time, but what he did was, you know, in the time that he played was great. I mean, sure, there might be a sophomore slump. Obviously, the league might figure him out.
That's what
may not be anything like he showed, but. You know, I mean, he showed you something at least, so there might be something there. I'm on his team, man. I would give it a shot. I'm ready to see this guy play a full season if he's given the opportunity, and I'd love to see him do something great. So
I'd be okay.
I mean, the Cubs need a win like that.
Yeah,
they need. It'd be nice for them to get a guy's like, hey, we got this guy. You know, we were selling off. This guy was part of a thing. Hey, we found a guy that we weren't really, you know, that we didn't really expect much, you know, just kind of like a diamond in the rough. That's a long shot, but hey, well, how good does that feel? You know, it's one of the best feelings when you find a guy like that.
Well, that's a big win for Jed too, because of the sell-off and how bad that went for him, and you know, him trying to point fingers at the players, and that didn't look good. But I mean, if he can find this diamond in the rough, I think that kind of, you know, gets them into some goodwill with the fans, some other fans that aren't as hopeful that they're going to turn this thing around.
Well, now he can point the finger at his new GM if it goes bad again. So,
who's that guy?
Somebody from Cleveland. I couldn't even tell you his name.
I forgot. Yeah. I read about his name.
I think he was the assistant GM of the Indians. I believe Guardians. Did you guys see that story about the Guardians are being sued by a roller derby team that are named the Cleveland Guardians? Why they should have went with the Spiders.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they paid that firm to tell them, oh, you should go with the Guardians.
Yeah. And they didn't even look
hire somebody
within the city. Yeah. And I totally get their argument. Like, hey, like people used to Google our name for roller derby, which I mean, I don't know how many people are Googling roller derby for Cleveland, but now like there's no way that team and that fan base or whatever is ever going to get any listings in Google because it's all going to go directly towards Major League Baseball websites. So I totally understand.
I'd be pissed too.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Roller derby is actually very big in Cleveland, Ohio.
Is it really?
Well, there you go.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Guardians are bigger than the Indians.
I just keep thinking of, I know it's Joakim Noah night at the Bulls game tonight, and I just keep thinking now of when he said, do you know anybody that goes to Cleveland on vacation? But anyway, we don't want to. I'm sure Cleveland is very nice. I don't want to alienate any Cleveland listeners if we have any. So, all right. couple things. I know, Greg, you got a bunch of the awards and stuff. We'll talk about that real quick. Vinny, I think you found this. The Braves and the Astros game. It's tied. Its series is 1-1 right now, but Soler, George Soler, who was a former Cub, is the first player to ever have a leadoff home run in the top of the first, game 1 of the World Series, and a home run in his first at bat per Jeff Passan. And that is with 117 World Series. So that is an awesome stat. I can't believe that's never happened.
No,
that's the magic of baseball right there.
Is that it goes back so long, and that when you see stuff like that, it's like, holy cow, that never happened. You got to be kidding me. So
see, the first when he said that, I was like, hey, wait a minute. The first person that came to mind was Mets Kansas City with Alcides Escobar hitting a home in the inside the Parker, but that they were the home team. Mm-hmm. So it technically didn't lead off the game with it. He was just the leadoff hitter for the home team. So I was like, well, that's just crazy how that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jorge Soler, free agent, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Free agent
Ex-Cub.
Ex-Cub, yeah.
I always liked Jorge Soler, man. I did too. I thought he was cool.
I thought he was good. I know there was an article I was reading about this after I saw you put this in the show notes, Vinny, and I was like, it mentioned him getting his World Series ring, and I'm like, wait a minute, was he on the World Series team? Like, it's been so long now. I actually had to like go back and look. And I'm like, yeah, I guess he was.
He sure was.
He wasn't a big part of the team.
No, he wasn't.
No, he didn't get a ton of playing time.
No,
but
he was on that year.
Yeah.
He was better the year before in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. And then, he went to the Royals for a decent period of time. So
for Wade Davis, I think it was.
Yes.
This is one that I'm really excited about, being like a closet Padres fan, is that Ozzie Guillen apparently interviewed for the San Diego Padres.
Can't believe it.
I will openly admit, as a Cubs fan, when Ozzie was the manager of the White Sox, I could not stand him. And I don't know if that was just him and Dusty Baker going back and forth in a couple games. Like, I could not stand him. But now occasionally watching Sox games and listening to his pre and post stuff on what would that be, NBC Sports Chicago?
Yeah, NBC Sports Chicago.
I love hearing what he has to say. Now, like some of the stuff he said about Miami and Castro, kind of goofy there. But
that's him. But
that's him, right? Like he's gonna say what he wants, and
no filter.
He is a decent manager. At least he was in Chicago. When he went to Miami, not so much. Or Florida. Was it Florida at the time? I don't remember what they were. But
Miami. No, they were
Miami. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm all on board with that. And I don't know which one of you guys saw that also. The Padres agreed with Bob Melvin though to have a 3-year deal. Correct? Is that
that just came out tonight?
So I was really bummed once I saw that. I'm like, my dreams of an Ozzie Padre relationship has been dashed already. But
maybe he can get the A's job now.
It's okay. I mean, Bob Melvin, the A's are another team that I like to watch from afar just because they don't have any payroll, and they'll have one season where they're god awful, and then like another year when they come back and they hit on all the picks that they've made and they are back in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Well, it's going to be the Cubs. Yeah. That's going to be the Cubs MO going forward, right?
I think it is. Oh God. Yeah. So, I mean, Bob Melvin, I don't know which one you guys found this, but 3-time manager of the year. Was that you, Vinny? Great man.
Yeah.
I tell you, he's the statistician of this podcast for a reason.
Yes, he is.
And 7 winning seasons out of 11 with Oakland, like that's pretty talented. So good on them. I'd love to see what the Padres are next year. I mean, they completely choked at the end of the season this year. So we will see how it goes. Maybe Ozzie will go to Oakland, Greg.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I want Ozzie.
You want Ozzie?
No one can have Ozzie except us. Come on, I'd give him send Tony La Russa away, get Ozzie in.
Who are we kidding? There's not even going to be baseball next season. There'll be a labor stoppage.
That's so shocking though, because if you talk about old school manager, even some of the guys in the game now, like that is Ozzie. The first thing he's going to do is walk in that clubhouse and start making everyone cry or whatever. So, hey, you know what though? I thought about that more. I'm like, maybe that's what the Padres just need, because they fell apart. They just need someone to go in there and just break them down and build them back up, and then not knowing, unaware that I don't know how Ozzie would adapt to managing nowadays, how his style would fit in, but I mean just the philosophies might have helped.
I don't
go Full Metal Jacket on him
a little bit,
I'm still surprised the A's and Bob Melvin kind of split up. I mean, it seemed like they both had a good thing going. I don't know.
It might have been like
his contract up. I honestly don't even know the whole story. I haven't been following it too closely, but
I haven't either.
It could have been side talks.
Yeah.
It could have just been, hey, let's just. It could have been a mutual thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I don't know.
Better weather in San Diego. So
letting Bob try to win one.
Yeah, maybe.
Seriously.
Getting AJ Preller to be like, hey, we'll throw some money behind you and have at it. So, all right. Well, Greg, I know you put this. I know the listeners can't see this, but he put this amazing table together, complete with stars and color coded, and for all the major awards for baseball.
This was all to help you make your picks, even though I think some of them, are maybe a little more obvious than others. So
take us through it.
Award season is coming up in November, and it's always kind of fun to predict, who the winner is going to be. I think some are pretty clear cut. But it's just kind of fun to see where everyone's at, who's leading the league. And then just kind of fun to make your picks, I suppose. So if you have any award, if you're listening to this now before the World Series ends, send us in your award predictions for this season, MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. So I think we should start with picking our AL MVP. I listed a bunch of names, but I kind of just go with the top three right here. Shohei Ohtani, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, I think would be the three front runners.
Yeah.
I think this one is kind of locked up. I think this one goes to Ohtani.
Oh,
what about you guys?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fact that he's able to play both pitching and hitting, I mean, that's just insane. I feel bad for Vlad Guerrero too. And a high level. Yeah. And I feel horrible for Vlad Guerrero Jr. because I mean, he had a phenomenal season, but the fact that this guy is trying to do literally everything he can to get the Angels to a playoff spot and still can't do it for a poor guy. But
seriously,
I got to go Shohei Ohtani for AL MVP for sure.
100%. I mean, 9. Yep. I mean, if you like WAR, his WAR was 9 overall. That's encompassing pitching and position playing. Of course, he was mainly a DH. But like you said, Justin, Vlad Guerrero, I mean, he led the league in on-base percentage, slugging, OPS. He led the AL in that. And then he led all of baseball in home runs with 48 and runs scored with 123. So, I mean, definitely an MVP-worthy season, no doubt. But, Shohei pitches also and does it well. So I think that's going to be the winner for the American League. I think that's going to be pretty unanimous. Switching to National League. This one might be a little tighter than we think. I think the top 3 names are going to be Juan Soto and Bryce Harper of the I still put Bryce Harper on the Nationals.
I just noticed that. Yeah.
Whoops. That's not right. No, correction. Bryce Harper plays on Philadelphia, everybody. And Fernando Tatis, who was my pick to win MVP before the season started. You know what? I think I'm going to stick with Tatis winning the NL MVP. What about you guys?
Vinny, what are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with Juan Soto.
I think that's a guy who
that
will
on-base
win.
percentage is ridiculous. 465. Are you kidding me?
Wow, I didn't realize it was
Major League.
Absolutely nuts.
Yep.
He had 145 walks, 23 intentional, 7 WAR. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I know that there were a lot of stats on the score that they were throwing out of just about how well he sees the ball and how he doesn't. And I wish I had the stats that they were throwing out about his pitch selection that he actually hits and makes contact on it. I forgot. I really wish I knew what the stat was, but it was just showing how well he sees the ball, and I don't know. It's almost unheard of. It's almost Barry Bonds-ish.
Yeah,
with how well he sees the ball. And I think that I love high on base percentage. It's just ridiculous to be able to see the ball that well.
Yeah, he's the one that's probably going to win it. I would be shocked if he didn't win it actually, but it's a little bit closer. I think in the NL.
My heart says Tatis just because I really like him as a player. But I'm glad Vinny called that up about the on base percentage because I had no idea it was that high. I mean, So what? Almost one out of every two at bats, he's on base. Like, how valuable is that? Like that just screams most valuable player to me. So my brain says it's definitely Juan Soto for sure. So. Yeah,
there are some people that are in the Bryce Harper camp too. I mean, he did lead the league in slugging, OPS plus.
Yeah,
so I know he's going to get a look, and he kind of turned it on the later half of the season.
42 doubles is nothing to sneeze at either. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
The majors in that too. So, but I'm going to stick with my pick. Go with Tatis, but I think Soto probably wins that award, and well deserving too. Some other names in the National League, Trey Turner will probably get some votes. He had a great season, led all of baseball in batting average, if you like the old school stats. Willie Adames, Brandon Crawford, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, and Austin Riley also might receive votes for the NL. And for the AL, some other vote getters might be Aaron Judge, Carlos Correa, Rafael Devers, Cedric Mullins, Matt Olson, Salvi Perez, and Jose Ramirez. So
no White Sox?
No White Sox on there. I don't.
You don't think
so? I don't believe so.
Wow,
no.
Interesting.
We'll see though. Hopefully they get some. Hopefully they get some.
You would think
some later.
Anderson might, right?
He might. Yeah,
he might get a couple.
He might get
just
a couple
for the Field of Dreams game alone.
Yeah,
that was huge. So, switching to Cy Young, we'll go to the AL again. So I think we have another clear-cut guy that kind of came around late. So I think our top three guys would be Robbie Ray, Garrett Cole, and Lance Lynn, big bastard of the White Sox. For AL Cy Young, I think. Well, here's the funny story. I think it was Lynn for a while.
Yeah,
towards the beginning of the season, because he was just like unstoppable with his like 7 different fastballs that he threw. Then it kind of switched to Cole and was almost Cole's to lose. And then Robbie Ray
just came out of nowhere.
Just started really heating up in a contract year. So, I mean, he's kind of got he led the AL in ERA, tied for game started with 32 innings pitched in the AL at 193, led all of baseball with 248 strikeouts and 6.7 pitching WAR. So I think I'm going to go Robbie Ray for the AL side.
I'm right there with you, Greg. Right there with
He's also the guy I want to win, because I don't want Cole to win because he's weird.
Screw Garrett Cole. No,
what about Lynn?
I would love to see him win. I don't think he's going to. But
it's crazy. Like, and I know you're going to do the NL next, but like to look at, 25 years ago, what a value there was placed on wins and losses. And I mean, there's one guy in all these Cy Young candidates for both sides of the league that has 20 wins. And I mean, like, I feel like 25 years ago, he would have just won because they would have been up.
Look at the wins and the win-loss percentage. Be like, that's the guy.
And same thing. There's only a couple guys that pitched over 200 innings, which is crazy. Like, obviously, it just goes to show how much the league is changing at this point. So, but
what about you, Vinny?
I'm gonna go with Robbie Ray. Yeah, his stats they just tell the story, right?
I believe they pretty much do. And Lance Lynn, like you said, I was convinced, but he had just had that drop off, in the last month and a half or whatever. Just like, he started, and then he was hurt for a little bit. So he still finished with great, he still had a great season.
Yeah.
And it got himself a nice contract extension. So he didn't if he doesn't win this award, I don't think he's going to cry over it whatsoever. So because he got 38 mil in the bag over the next 2 years. So but I think we'll go with Ross. So we're all going to go Robbie Ray then for the AL Cy Young.
Yep.
For the NL Cy Young, I think there's another clear-cut guy. But we'll go over some names here. Zach Wheeler of the Phillies, Max Scherzer of the Dodgers, and the Nationals before that, Walker Buehler of the Dodgers, Corbin Burns of the Brewers. I think this one is going to be Zach Wheeler, guys, of the Phillies.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that too.
213 innings pitched, led all of Major League Baseball. 247 strikeouts, led the National League. 3 complete games, 2 shutouts. 849 batters faced, MLB leading, and a 7.8 pitching WAR, also MLB leading. Max Scherzer, another really fine season. With Scherzer numbers, he pitches. Oh, well, it doesn't quite get 200 innings, but 179, 236 strikeouts, a 0.86 WHIP. I think that was major league leading.
That's nuts.
246 ERA, if I didn't mention that before. And then Walker Buehler, Corbin Burns. You guys see the stats right there. I'm going Zach Wheeler on this one. How about you guys?
Yeah, I think I got to go with Zach Wheeler.
So.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that's the safe bet. So,
like I said, another guy that you brought up before, Justin, a 20-game winner. I think we have to give a shout to Julio Urias of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Major League Baseball's only 20-game winner, I believe.
Yeah.
And I should have highlighted that in red, but I didn't because I should have. I don't know why I didn't. But
that's all right.
Goes 20-3, 296 ERA, 32 games started, 185.2 innings pitched, almost 200 strikeouts. He finishes with 195, 1.02 WHIP, 4.7 WAR. I think in the old days that wins you.
Yeah,
the
without
20
a
games
doubt.
alone,
Without
under
a doubt.
3 ERA. I'm pretty sure Roy Halladay won it with like a 3.4 ERA. But
yeah, I think you're right.
50 games that season.
I think you're right.
So yeah, just had to give him a shout. For the American League, some other vote getters you might see for Cy Young. Eovaldi had a nice season. Giolito had a great second half. Lance McCullers, the Astros, and Carlos Rodon, who was another front runner for a little bit until he got hurt and kind of fell apart a little bit. But still a nice season for him. All right. Finishing up here, Rookie of the Year, American League, we have Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, Wander Franco, and Luis Garcia of the Astros. I think for me, Arozarena is going to win it, but I'd much prefer Adolis Garcia to be the winner. I like his numbers better. He was an all-star. I love those 90 RBIs, those 31 home runs. I love a good power guy, good power rookie. So
yeah, I'd go with Garcia.
That's so old school, Greg.
I know, right? I love the old school stats, but it'll probably be a Arozarena of Tampa Bay. Even though he just slipped in. He just slipped in under rookie qualifications after an amazing postseason and the season last year with Tampa Bay. So
yeah.
But yeah, it'll probably be a Arozarena, but I'd be down for Garcia.
Yeah.
National League, I think the front runner is definitely going to be Jonathan India, second baseman for the Reds.
Yep.
It's going to come down to him or possibly Trevor Rogers of the Miami Marlins, who had a nice year.
Yes, he did.
4 ERA, 25 games started, 103 innings pitched, and 157 strikeouts that led all of rookies pitching wise. So, and a special shout out to Frank Schwindel. I hope he gets some votes too, right there.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. There you go.
He led all of rookies in batting average, on base, slugging, and OPS, all qualified rookies. So,
yep.
There we go. AL Manager of the Year. I'll share my
Scott Service.
For Rookie of the Year, I'm going with India. I mean, National League.
Same here.
India. So I think that's pretty clear cut. AL Manager of the Year. I'm going with you, Justin. I'm going Scott Service.
Scott Service.
I hope he wins it.
Yep. I hope so too. He deserves it. Getting that team.
I really don't
within,
want. And yes,
getting that team within a sniff of the playoff race when they weren't really expected to do a whole lot of anything.
Exactly.
I say keep it going. So yeah, I'd give it to him for sure.
100%. And NL Manager of the Year, this one is, I mean, if there's ever a lock for any of this, it's Gabe Kapler.
Oh, without a doubt.
I agree.
Without a doubt.
Best record in baseball. Pacoda had them going 75 and 87 because they're full of shit. Yeah, there's really nothing to be said right there.
Yeah.
And just a quick shout, guys. I know I listed a comeback player of the year is not an official award. It's more of just like a sporting news award or something.
Yeah.
But I always kind of like to see it, and especially this year, I just want to give a shout to Trey Mancini.
For sure.
Of course, who had a fantastic season after missing the entire 2020 season and time before that fighting stage 3 colon cancer.
Yep.
So
I think
he finished the season 255, 326, 432, 21 home runs, 71 RBIs. I'll take that any day of the week. He's awesome. Rooting for him all the way. And yeah, he is. There's no AL or NL in this case for me. It's just Trey Mancini.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
He's the man with that. So
well done, Greg.
So yes, if you have other thoughts, if you have a different guy in mind, send us who you think will win the awards, and all that will be announced come November. The voting's already happened, so it's just we'll wait
see when it comes out.
Like I said, I think most of it is pretty clear cut though, but I wouldn't mind if there was a shocker or two in there. So we'll see.
All right. Well, for our Bears 1 minute review, they continue to suck. I don't know. I got nothing. Do you guys got anything?
That's what I got.
I don't even know if it's worth the breath of oxygen it takes to talk about Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace at this point. I don't know. Vinny, what do you think?
I just don't know what they're doing on offense.
I don't know what they're doing either. That's the best part.
I mean, Matt Nagy is a complete snake oil salesman. The way he gives answers, I know I sent that both to you, that 419 word answer on a simple question on what, asking about the offense and is this where you want the offense to be? And he gives a 419 word response that didn't make absolutely any sense. And I think that's exactly how he handled his interview. He went in there, Ryan Pace asked him a bunch of simple questions.
Yeah.
He went on, and Ryan Pace probably was like, I forgot what I asked this question. This guy's awesome.
It's literally that scene from The Office with Michael Scott. I know we've mentioned this before. It's about sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. That is Matt Nagy. I think on their score on the sports radio out here, they call it word salad. Like he just keeps throwing stuff in. It doesn't make any sense. And sometimes they call him on it, but then he does that. Well, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give a competitive advantage to our team or opposing team, which let's be realistic that you're not, they're just better teams, but I don't know. I think you nailed it, Vinny.
Do you guys think he's at Hallis Hall right now, even though he has COVID? Because they asked him where Matt Nagy.
He's got COVID? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he tested positive for COVID. So he's isolating himself, and he was asked by the media where he's located, and he didn't tell him. He said, "Oh, I got a really sweet setup here, but I can't tell you where I'm at."
He's at Hallis Hall. He's in the bunker of Hallis Hall.
Well, I was thinking I'm picturing him, getting the positive test and saying, screw it, I'm going in anyways. He doesn't want anybody to take his job. So he's crawling through the air ducts like George did in Seinfeld to get into his office that they have locked up. They probably had it quarantining.
You can't keep me out.
Yeah. You tell Mr. Pace that I'm in my office.
Probably called Virginia up and yelled at her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you can take the playbook away from me? Well, I'm here. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
I will sign up as the asbestos installation man if that gets him, out of the Bears organization. So, and I've been exposed to asbestos before. It's not terrible. So
it was literally coated on the ceiling of our band room, and they told us, "Oh, only vibrations loosen it." I'm like, "Oh, that's good." Yep. The whole 50-person orchestra that's playing right now, that's not doing anything. So. All right.
Becomes napalm after that.
Much. Exactly. All right. I know we're running really long, so I'm gonna.
We want to hear it, Justin.
I gotta get this off my chest. All right. So first of all, I am dying in this skeleton onesie. This thing is hot.
Ooh, he's undressing, ladies and gentlemen. He's undressing. Oh, he's
gonna have to mark this as explicit on YouTube. All right. Anyway. Where do I begin? I feel like when people call into the radio station, especially about hockey, they have to verify like, this is how I know my hockey. And I'm not going to do that. I've talked about how I
state your credentials.
Yeah. I've watched hockey since, 1992 and I've played since 94.
I've been a Blackhawks fan since 61.
Exactly. It's like, just hang up on that guy. Okay. What blows my mind, if you haven't read any of the investigative reporting that came out, thankfully, I'm so happy that, and I use independent in air quotes, because it's like, how can it be independent when it's being paid by the team? So I really thought this was going to be like a shit show, dog and pony show. We're going to just say we're investigating and we're going to pass the buck and say, you know what? No, we couldn't find anything. It's all over with. Goodbye. But I do give them credit. Not the team, the investigators, they did their job. And I did read some of the report that came out. And if you want to know some very, very unsettling stuff, I mean, it's really messed up what was going on. So the fact that an organization that's, estimated in the billions now for the NHL, first of all, let that happen. Then they, this is a situation where the report stated that the players knew because they were calling this poor kid slurs, about this situation. Then you have players saying, "Oh, we didn't know." It's like, okay, well, there's investigative reporting that shows you did know, because so someone's lying, and I'm going to take the investigative report side over what one player says. And then you have the captain and assistant captains of the team saying they knew nothing about it. So if you're such a good captain, and Vinny, I think I saw one of your tweets about this last night about Captain Sirius, Jonathan Taves, everyone proclaims him as this, unbelievable captain. He is, such a good guy, and he's so supportive of his teammates. And then last night he comes out and says, "Oh, I didn't know about it until the summer after." That's bullshit. You did know, you're lying. And then in the same breath, he says, "Oh, well, yes, it's a good thing Stan Bowman resigned, but he's a good guy." What? I don't swear often, but what the fuck are you saying? Like, what are you thinking? And then you got Patrick Kane, who wants to get out there and run his mouth, which I get. He's like, "Oh, Kyle Beach, who, Kyle Beach was he was a first round pick. He had all this possibility." And I remember at the time, I'm like, it's really weird that they're not giving him a shot. Why aren't they giving him a chance? They're running all these other guys out there that were 4th and 5th round picks. He's like, "Oh, well, we feel really bad about Kyle Beach, and I'm so proud of him for standing forward, and I wish we could have done something." You could have at the time. Like, I'm sorry if I'm at work, and granted, a hockey rink is very different from where any of us work. But if someone is harassing a coworker and using slurs that you shouldn't use to begin with, but you definitely shouldn't use them at your place of business, I'm going to say something like, "Hey, you need to stop." And so shame on them for A, not doing that. And then B, saying, and again, Kane in the same breath, "Oh, but Stan Bowman's a great guy." No, he's not. He let this all happen. And I hate the fact that they're just trying to pass it along and blame McDonough, which McDonough is a sleazeball to begin with. I've never liked him since he came over from the Cubs. He snake salesman he is a definite snake oil salesman. Sorry, I'm using the expression wrong. It's just like, and then Quenneville resigned tonight. Yeah. He's done. He's out.
Yep, all that.
And he was one 6 months ago, said, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it." Well, that's funny, because 6 other people, their story corroborates that you did know about it, and you looked the other way. So, they
had a championship to win, Justin. Come on.
Well, oh God. And that's what's killing me on social media. Like, if you go on Twitter, I will admit, I've been really proud of a lot of the Hawks fans that they're fed up and frustrated and they think this was horrible. But then you have a few meatheads that they're victim blaming, and they're still on the, "Well, he's a grown man. He should have kicked that guy's ass and, called it a day." No, because the Hawks went and told him, "This is all your fault. And if you make a big deal about this, you will never play in the NHL again," which he never played in the NHL because they kept him. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
It's so. I was telling Erica last night. I was watching the Hawks game last night because they were playing the Maple Leafs, and I love the Maple Leafs too. I'm like, I don't want to wear my Hawks stuff. Like, I'm embarrassed, and maybe that's taking it too far. Maybe I'm being silly in that regard. But it's like, I don't want to support this team. Granted, now everybody in the front office from the 2010 team is gone, and Taves and Kane are the only 2 left on the team. But like, that's such an organizational failure. It's almost like the Penn State stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how many people just looked the other way and didn't care. I mean, even as a kid, I loved watching Penn State football and Joe Paterno. And it's funny that, oh no, I shouldn't say it's not funny at all, but to have this happen again, and it's the same situation where it's like, "Oh, well, someone else knew, someone else was going to take care about it." It's like, at some point, if you see nothing happened and you still let the abuser, the assaulter, go to the parade and his name is on the cup engraving, and you still let him stick around,
great review,
give him a glowing recommendation to go get a job at a college where he literally sexually abused another kid, and there's litigation there, and he's a registered sex offender in Michigan where he lives. That's horrible. And he got a job as a high school coach too, like, instead of just Miami of Ohio's hockey team. It's frightening how how bad they handled this and how this poor, I shouldn't say kid, because I think he's close to 30 now. He's a couple years younger than me, but
I think he's 31.
It ruined his life. Like you can't tell me. I mean, obviously therapy is going to help and talking about it. And this, I think he feels vindicated, but he's never going to have a normal life. You know what I mean? He's always going to have people harassing him. So I don't know. It's so frustrating. And I mean, just, being a hockey fan, that's nothing compared to what's going on right now with all this investigation stuff. I'm curious what you guys think, but it's just so the Quenneville stuff, when he was good enough to coach the game last night for the Panthers, but then afterwards they pulled him and wouldn't let him do a press conference after the game. Because they knew it was going to come up, and he keeps saying, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it." It's like, come on, that's bullshit. You did know. And same thing with Duncan Keith saying he never knew. You're the assistant captain of the team. You should know pretty much everything that's going on. Same thing with Taves. So
it's almost it's eerily the exact same as the Penn State stuff, as you mentioned with Joe Paterno, where the end, where even Taves said it, where winning was the all-encompassing thing. Like that was the only thing
that's
on
all that mattered.
And he came out and said that. He was pretty much like, yeah, I know all this was going on, but we were thinking about winning. He said that to whoever the media or whoever was reported.
No,
you strip Jonathan Taves of the seat.
I'd strip all of them. Like, you're not a leader. You let this happen. Again, I'm sure there are people that are listening. Maybe they think I'm overreacting, or telling.
Well, there's going to be the boneheads too that'd be like, well, Taves was technically one of the younger captains in the NHL.
But then you shouldn't make young guys captains.
Exactly.
And that's been a move.
And you can't. And there's nothing wrong with making a young guy captain. But if he's clearly, he's not the leader we thought he was.
So I just.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I have a hard time, even like with musicians and actors and actresses. I have a hard time in general, like separating the person from the art, so to speak. Like, when something happens, and like I don't really like R. Kelly music in general, but there's people out there that like R. Kelly music, and they'll be like, well, you got to separate R. Kelly from his music, and that's why I listen to it. Like, I can't do that. I have a hard time wrapping my head around that, and that's my thing. But like, for this, it's like I don't want to watch Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane. Like, screw them. Like, the fact that you let this guy down, who was a younger guy than you, looked up to you. The sad thing is, the guy that did the best press conference afterwards was Alex DeBrincat. He was 12 when this went on, so he's like in his mid 20s, and he was the one saying that this was so horrible. Never once did he say how much he owes Stan Bowman. I mean,
Bowman.
Or caring about winning. It's pretty sad. The guys that are the captain and assistant captain who've been on the team for 13 years, you could even Taves' body language. He looked like he didn't give two shits. He's like, that was, come on, man.
It's almost, even thanking Bowman and the organization, it's almost, it comes across as almost like brainwashed.
Yeah,
almost,
it is. Like it really is.
Like the winning, like I said before, the winning all encompassing, like it's just Coach Riley win.
Yeah. At any cost.
Where humanity is just completely absent. It is just completely jarring. I think Penn State shocked the world when all that was made public, and
nobody learned from it.
With a professional level hockey team that is built their fan base in Chicago, that have built up an amazing franchise and following here. And now
I know last night was the first night in, I think, 500 home games that they did not sell out. Yeah. So I think there's going to be more fallout, more, coming from it. And the last thing I'll say, this is semantics, but letting both Bowman resign and also the Florida Panthers letting Quenneville resign is bullshit. They should have fired them to send a message to anybody else that says, you know what, you are going to be held accountable. You're not going to just be able to slink away and say, all right, well, I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I know it's very minor, but like, I want like shock and awe. You need to send a message that this shit can't go on. Because,
I actually have a question for you, Justin. Yeah. What would I don't know hockey like you do.
Sure.
Obviously the captain of a hockey team is a very prominent role across team sports. What would stripping of his C do for the league, for him in the league? With that, is this like happened before?
Oh,
not to, is it happened before to this scale? I mean, would this send a message,
I mean, there's been
seat taken away or anything.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
there's been guys that the one I think of, and you guys might remember this guy's name, Mike Modano. Have you guys ever heard of him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He was a Dallas
He was
Star.
in Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, he was in Mighty Ducks. That's right.
That's how I know.
He was captain of the Dallas Stars forever from when they moved to Minnesota and when they were the North Stars and moved to Dallas. And then I think he had some injuries. He was getting kind of older, so they stripped him of his C and they gave it to some young kid. And that kind of like, I remember it even as like, I think I was in high school at the time. I'm like, that's kind of a dick move. Now, I don't know what the other circumstances was, but
sure.
I mean, it's happened. I mean,
but not because of these circumstances.
No, not
really,
because of this. I mean, the only thing I can think of, in 2004, there was a player. His name was Danny Heatley. He was in a drunk driving accident where he was driving and he killed the passenger who was his teammate.
Oh, okay.
So he was actually the NHL 2003 cover guy. So they stripped him of that.
Wow,
They literally reissued the game with a different cover athlete and everything.
Holy cow! Okay.
Which, I mean, that seems like a bigger production than stripping a C. But if anything, it's just more of a ceremonial.
I was going to say, is that
done.
more ceremonial, or is that like a?
It's more ceremonial.
I'm saying is like, would that truly like be the final touch to disgrace him? Not saying that it would be the one. I mean, it seems like taking the C away. I mean, that he's already disgraced in my mind, whether he wears it or not. But
I would like to see that happen. I think as an organizational standpoint, I think that shows that they realize they're still making mistakes after this report came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it going to change anything for him? No. But I mean, I'll be very curious, like if Team Canada and Team USA, like I've already heard things on Twitter of like rumblings, like, maybe we should leave these guys off the Olympic roster. But I'm like, you know what? Realistically, you want to win.
The Olympics are evil too.
The Olympics, the IOC,
they're very
the
evil.
IOC is just as bad, if not worse. So, So we'll see. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest.
Oh no,
I was so
very curious,
so frustrated, and no, I would rip the C off him. I would pay good money to see it done live, actually. So, I really think I want to say they only have like another year or two left on their contracts. I would be very curious if that's kind of the. And again, maybe I'm overreacting because it was just a silly press conference at the end. But it's like they're so tone deaf, deaf. You know what I mean? So,
well, they'll have a job at Cubs PR. They're pretty tone deaf over there too.
Yeah. Oh. They'll fit in great. What's McDonough doing? They can go work for McDonough. So
does Colleton have anything to do with this? He's not involved in this.
No,
he wasn't around.
No, but he looked like an idiot. Yes, well, he's just an idiot in general. But I was going to say,
what's he? There's nothing. I mean, it's kind of when you put things in perspective.
He's an idiot for a different reason.
About the Blackhawks.
Yeah. No, they're 0-5-1, I think, with 2 points now, or 0-5-2 because they lost or 0-4-2. They lost in overtime last night, but no, I'm hoping it'll give a chance to clean him out too, just because he's an awful coach. But no, he came out and he came out with a statement at the very beginning, and it was a bad statement. I don't remember the specifics of it, but he got just lambasted online, and then he had another statement after the game. It's like, yeah, of course you did, because someone wrote you one and you read it, and that was it.
Right.
All right, well, let's talk about something fun. Greg, I'm going to throw it over to you so you can host our whatever segment. So do you want to tell us what we're doing here, Greg? Go ahead.
Oh, I get to host whatever?
Yeah, you host whatever. Yeah. This is your thing. You host whatever.
Well, thank you. Welcome to whatever, baseball and whatever, but just whatever, I guess. So our theme is Halloween. Halloween is upon us. So we originally thought about doing, favorite costumes one episode, favorite movies, TV one episode, but we're just like, you know what? Let's just do a whole mosh pit of Halloween content, whatever we want to talk about. Favorite costumes, favorite traditions, favorite movies, TV. We have plenty of your responses too that we're going to get to. And thank you again for writing in. We have a lot of great stuff to get to. Whatever's just going to be Halloween, anything, whatever. That's what whatever's for. No wrong answers here. So I'm going to start off really quick by re-mentioning my two favorite Halloween movies, which is Halloween and The Exorcist. Every year, horror movies, watch them around the season. That's just one of my personal traditions right here. And I know I mentioned Halloween Kills before. Really loved that movie on Peacock. I'm sorry, I know I can't say P on the air.
I thought it was funny. Vinny, your mom wrote in and said Halloween
heard
Ghouls
that.
is awful. Don't waste your money. So
yeah, that'd be. I got to ask her more about that because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So
interesting.
But actually, too, I discovered on Peacock also that there's sorry, no, I shouldn't say P, but how Peacock has tons of classic horror movies too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched Night of Living Dead the other day, and
nice.
The original Invisible Man from 1933. Like that to me is like the perfect time of year to watch all those black and white or old school 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s horror movies. I love all of that. And I watched them as kids, as a teenager, and I was, an adult, quote unquote. And I really enjoy that. And I know I'm not so much into like the kiddie stuff. I do enjoy the Garfield Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We do that when carving pumpkins. I know a couple people wrote in about that, and then the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown, obviously, which I know Vince, friend of the pod, loves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm kind of at with stuff I like to watch around Halloween. A lot of good watches around this time of season. So how about you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go favorite costumes to start off. I'll read one right here. Michelle wrote in and she said her favorite costume was when she was in the 1970s was her Wonder Woman costume. It would look like she sent me a picture of it on Facebook. It was like the plastic Wonder Woman mask with like the plastic vinyl jumpsuit. So I thought that was pretty cool. I remember I had a Ninja Turtle costume like that. But my favorite costume of all time, when I was a kid, I have two. The first one was one year I dressed up as a nerd. Which I really didn't probably have to dress up. Yeah, I knew that was coming, Vinny. I knew it was coming. So I remember I got some really like short pants and like ankle socks. So you could, like waiters almost. I felt like Milhouse in that one episode where he's like, everything's coming up Milhouse. And then I got glasses and I taped the front. I had a pocket protector. I had like some scientific stuff I was carrying around. And then the best, and I still don't know why we did this, is because we could have went to the store and just bought gel. Is we were going to, my mom was like, we'll give you an alfalfa. I'm like, that's great. Let's do it. So again, preface this, we could have went and bought gel or used mousse, but for some reason, my mom thought to use Vaseline. So we put Vaseline in my hair.
Perfect.
That is a horrible, horrible thing to never put Vaseline in your hair. We couldn't get that out for weeks.
I was like, did it ever get out?
I was going to say, is that like the person that used Gorilla Glue?
Yes. So I had Vaseline in my hair and I had the alfalfa sticking straight up. That was a great costume. A lot of my classmates, I think I was in 4th grade for that one. A lot of my classmates liked that one. And the other one I'll mention real quick before we throw it to Vinny is in 5th grade. You guys are probably a little too young to remember this, but in the late 90s, this would have been like 98 maybe. For some reason, at least in the south suburbs of Chicago, the like 60s clothing was making a renaissance. I don't know if that's because the Brady Bunch movies came back, the funny ones. I don't know if you guys remember this, but so a couple of the girls that I was friends with in class, they were going to dress up as Jan and Marsha Brady. And I was obviously, I'm short. I'm only like 5'7", 5'8", maybe. I was very short in 5th grade. They're like, do you want to dress up as Cindy? So I dressed up as Cindy Brady. I had a blonde wig. I had like leather go-go boots and like 60s. I'll have to ask my parents for a picture. 60s like attire. And we did it. And then when I was in grade school, we would do an outdoor Halloween parade where they would take all the kids out. We'd walk around the school and the parents would all be there to take pictures. And I still remember, I think it was my dad. He was standing next to somebody and he, some other dads, and they're like, oh, that's cute. There's, these 3 girls from the 60s, I guess. Right. And the other dad goes, dude, that's a guy. And they just started laughing and my dad started laughing too. So those are my 2 favorite costumes growing up for sure. Vinny, you got any Halloween stuff you want to share?
Yeah. I guess I'll go with costumes. I remember, I guess I'll go with costume. I guess I don't really have a favorite one. I have one that I was highly disappointed in. Still remember to this day. And it was, I went as Robin for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was disappointed because my sister Ashley went as Batman. I wanted to go as Batman.
Yeah.
I had to be Robin. Why I had to be Robin? I don't know. I still don't know to this day. I'm guessing that's why
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a
It's
seniority
not like
thing.
she had some love for Batman. I was like, no, I want to be Batman. I'm the boy. I want to be Batman. She can be Robin.
I'm a man.
Nope. I had to be stuck as Robin, and I was disappointed with that. I still remember this to this day, and I am still disappointed I did not get to be Batman for Halloween.
I'm gonna have to bring that up now next time I see her.
Yep. That's my one. That's my, I guess, one memorable Halloween costume. I did go as a hobo. Just like my father did. Vince wrote in and said his favorite costume was a hobo. Only time his mother didn't yell at him for getting dirty.
That's awesome.
I did that as a kind of like I'm kind of too old to be trick or treating, but I want candy. So
Yeah.
let me throw this hobo costume together where I just got a bunch of dirty clothes, threw them on, and went out the door with a sack to get candy. So, yeah, I remember doing that one year. But yeah, I don't have any, I guess, memorable ones, but disappointing one. I have that.
That's awesome. Yep. I like it.
Well, sorry to mention this, Vinny, but my favorite Halloween costume was my handcrafted by my lovely grandmother, my Batman costume, where everything was hand sewn, made from scratch. It was modeled after the Batman from the animated series, the Kevin Conroy cartoon. So that was my favorite show, and it was just perfect. She even made the cape, like the inside of the cape, look blue, like it would in the cartoon, and the outside was black, so it was like two-toned almost. I was like, man, and it had like the triangular edges and everything. It was just my favorite costume. And the other costume I loved was Jason the Red Ranger.
Nice.
That was I remember wearing that. I remember wearing that to school, and like it was like second grade or whatever, and just walking in there like hot shit. So
that's awesome.
And I also remember too, bad memory, not really as bad as yours, Vinny, but when I was really young, too young to remember, but just from the pictures that my parents also dressed me as some bullshit clown or something like that, like black and orange with little things on my face or whatever. So nice. I was like, I forgot about that one, but for me, costumes, Batman and Red Ranger. Those were
choices.
Those were my favorites. So
very good choices. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh man. Do we want to go over? Should I mention some more? Do you want me to mention some more?
I want you to talk about this one, Justin. Right. Your Doug, your Eric, the wife writes in your Doug and Patty costume.
Yeah,
great TV show by the way.
Yes, so. Yeah. So, me and Erica obviously are products of '90s Nickelodeon. We also went as Arnold and Helga from Hey Arnold one year too.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
That costume that didn't come out as that. Erica's was great. Mine was not as good.
How did you get the football head?
I think we made something out of like poster board, yeah, something like that. So that one didn't come out as good though. I have a problem where I don't like dressing up in general. So for Halloween, yeah, I was very close. If Erica didn't order this for our family pictures with the baby, I would have literally been the hole punch. That would have been my costume.
There you go.
Or just get the name tag that says Dave on it.
Yeah.
Dave.
Cool. So no, I 1 year, this would have been, I think the first year we were dating, this was 2009. Somehow we got the idea of going as Doug and Patty from Doug on Nickelodeon. So my costume was just a green sweater vest and some khaki shorts and some Converse, which was great because I think I owned all that except the sweater vest. It was like a $7 eBay find I ordered. So that was easy. And then Erica went all out. So she got a blue like blouse and then she cut out pink polka dotted felt and then glued it to the blouse and then got a skirt that matched Patty's and then red Converse, I think, because Patty had red Converse maybe. And then she got a blonde wig. Like she you guys know this. She loves Halloween. She goes all out. So I'm kind of dragging her down, but that was a lot of fun. We got a lot of compliments. I think we went to a Halloween party that night and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's Doug and Patty." I'm like, "Yeah, you guys got it. Nice job." So, as we get older, I think less and less people would get that joke and reference, but so that was our costume for that. So
nice.
Good stuff. Yeah. So But I know other favorite costumes. The guys over at Intercept Your Lunch podcast said they sent us a GIF of Colonel Sanders, so they liked that. And then one of my good friends and colleague Andrea wrote in, and she said her husband and her dressed up as Jack and what's his ex-wife's name? I can't think of the ex-wife's name, but they dressed up as the White Stripes.
Oh, Megan.
Jack and Megan
Nice.
White, which I'm gonna have to ask her for photos of that because I knowing her, she goes all out for this kind of stuff. So
Nice.
But, so there you go.
Nice. Should we
gotta
move
say-
on? Oh, go ahead, Vinny.
I was gonna say, yeah, one more costume that I do remember that it was fun. It was in college. I went as just white trash. I got the long mullet wig, which I don't know what happened to that long blonde mullet wig. I had I forgot what shirt I was wearing.
Did you have the teeth? Did they do
did. They didn't make
did,
it during the night.
oh.
No, I did have the teeth, but then I also I went full Dennis Reynolds, and I got this isn't white trash though doing it this way because Dennis Reynolds did it, but I got jeans and I cut them to make short jean shorts so I could do the spreading the wide legs. And yeah, I remember that. And I had like cigarettes too. Real cigarettes.
Awesome.
I was of age at the time, but yeah,
Nice.
that one
Newport
was a
Mundos,
fun one.
Menthol.
But I don't remember. I just whatever was the cheapest at the store.
That's awesome.
I think I smoked them all that night too.
Wow, I didn't know you ever smoked, Vinny.
Yeah.
Man.
I've always
Model of
smoked.
perfect health.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to get a hold of it. Still love that scene with George.
Yes, that's great.
That's great. Yeah, I feel like my costumes were underwhelming. You guys is pretty good. So love the white trash one, Vinny.
That's a good one. I like
Yeah,
that.
And the
I
real
have some
cigarettes. That's
pictures-
going all out.
I have some pictures of that, so maybe in post production, I can send them to Justin and he can post them.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
could definitely post them on the Twitter account and on the Facebook page and get have to show some people what we're talking about here. So I like it.
Oh boy,
I like it. I think that'll help grow the brand for sure.
yeah,
And the band.
And the band.
Yeah.
And the band. Yeah. A little bit.
So I
baseball and the lamos.
That's right. That's right.
So before we finish off with favorite movies and TV, I want to jump to some traditions, and I have a really odd one here, guys.
Okay.
Growing up as as a kid in my parents' house, my mom always made this was a Halloween thing, and it has nothing really to do with Halloween, but it was like a thing for like 7 years. She made we had like a breaded chicken sandwich bar going on at the house.
Oh,
So she would buy all those,
Interesting.
like those frozen Tyson chicken breaded chicken pads from Costco or whatever. She would deep fry them and then
Nice.
set up all the fixings to build your own breaded chicken sandwich. And
That's
that was
awesome.
that was a thing on Halloween. That would be our dinner after trick or treating or in between or whatever. And it was just the best thing. It's the only time we would ever, have that.
that's awesome.
So it was
great.
I don't know why it happened, but those chicken sandwiches were amazing. So,
Oh yeah.
and she had one of those big, huge deep fries that was just like a bucket that you would just plug in
Nice.
and, you just throw stuff in there. I mean, she probably used the oil is probably still sitting in there if she still has it. But it was for whatever reason, that was a thing. So
That's
Nice.
awesome.
I'll get to a few of our listener traditions here. Erica writes in pumpkin carving with the family and drinking hot apple cider while watching Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. That sounds that just screams tradition.
Yes,
right there.
that is probably my go-to, which I haven't gotten a chance to watch it because we stream our TV and we don't have the local news channel.
Local
So I would,
channels, yeah.
and I know ABC always carried Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, but now it's on PBS and I don't have PBS either. So
You got to get
what
yourself an
do you
antenna.
have with
Yeah.
Sling?
I mean everything but local channels. I used to have an antenna and it broke and I never replaced it. So I need to do that because I do miss having just local TV. But that is a great one. I'm kind of surprised Erica mentioned that one because she always talks about how she likes her serious, scary Halloween, not her baby Halloween, as she puts it. That's the stuff I like. So, but yeah, I got a rock. That is my favorite. That is my favorite part of that whole show. So.
Any other traditions from you guys? Vinny, did you have any? I know Erica.
just mentioned it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, I
say
was gonna
Erica
say that.
probably
She
just
stole your
mentioned it
thunder.
right
It was
there.
that. Yeah, it was that, and I always remembered watching the Garfield.
Yes.
Oh,
one
yeah.
as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I
That is-
love that.
That is a really.
Um,
I remember she made me sit down and watch that when we started dating, and I'm like, this is kind of creepy, Erica. But
I remember it being
Yeah.
creepy. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I just
Mhm.
remember that there's like some pirate. I think there was like
Yeah.
a weird pirate.
It's like a creepy
Ghost,
old
guy.
man.
ghost pirates.
Yeah.
We watched it yesterday. So.
Yeah, they're
While
in
carving
some like
pumpkins.
abandoned house or something like
Yeah,
that. Or
yep.
and yeah, I just vaguely remember it, and I remember it being creepy, especially comparing it to the Charlie Brown one, which is just it's funny, not
Yeah,
scary at all.
exactly.
Yeah. So
But yeah, that's pretty much that.
Well,
Erica said what
I'm,
my
I'm trying to. Yeah.
tradition was.
I'm
It's
trying
kind
to
of
think-
funny because I'd never. Oh, sorry, Justin.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll
No, I was just
finish.
gonna say I've never seen that before until I met Ashley. So
Yeah.
when we carved pumpkins for the first time when we were dating, never really carved pumpkins that much growing up
Yeah.
either. But I'm like, oh, this really is a thing. So, and ever since then, we've watched it every year. So
Yeah. I feel like, Greg, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, we carved pumpkins every year as kids. We obviously didn't carve them this year just because the baby's taken up most of our time. But as a kid, like we'd get that little booklet of all the things you tape on the pumpkin and then you
Mhm.
draw the dots. I never got my pumpkins to look like that. I don't know about you guys,
No.
but I
it's
suck at
impossible.
no. So
Yeah.
I just settle for the triangle eyes and then I make a goofy looking mouth and I call it a day. So
All right, I
Yeah.
got a question for you, Justin.
Yes.
So you grew up in Oak Lawn?
yes.
You're a South Sider. I
Yep.
was on the Northwest side in
Yep.
Chicago, right there. Did you go to the pumpkin patch? For me was like Jewel.
Yeah, same
Like
here.
that is
Oh, no,
where
we
that is
never,
where you picked. That is where you picked your pumpkins.
There was,
at
I want to
Jewel.
say there was like a some random church off of Central Avenue in like 101st, I don't know, 97th. This
Yes.
isn't going to make sense to anyone but those that live in Chicago. And I remember, I think maybe once or twice we got pumpkins from there, but I want to say it was like a Jewel or back when I was a kid, it was Dominic's before we went to
Dominic's,
Jewel.
yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all it was. And we'd carve it a couple nights before. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember, living in the Midwest, it's always cold on Halloween. So there was always
Mhm.
that, like, do I wear my coat over my costume and then no one can see what I am? Or do I try and fit my costume over my coat and then I just look like
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
huge? Which always ruined it. I can't imagine what it's like to be able to wear a costume without a coat. It sounds amazing. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I
Um,
remember the struggle there.
mhm.
But I got to say, now we go, like, again, since I met
It's a
Ashley,
big
like,
thing,
it's
yeah.
been the
Yep.
pumpkin patch every year, and it's
Yeah.
totally awesome. We went again this year, and there we are in the field. Once again, I am, introduced to something I thought, oh, people really do this.
we went one time, like, well, maybe it was more than one time, but we went one time when we were just dating, or maybe we had just moved in together. I don't remember. But anyway, we went to a pumpkin farm and we did like a whole day of it. And I remember it felt like we were in the pumpkin patch for hours because every pumpkin Erica picked up, it was either too lopsided or it was too flat on one side or
Gotta
it was
be
not
perfectly
rounded enough or
round.
not ripe
Yeah.
enough. And I'm like, Erica, you're carving it and we're throwing it away within a week. Who gives a shit? And she obviously got very mad at me for that. But
Yeah.
We got to make sure it's got a good face on it, like it's nice
Yeah.
and flat, so you can carve it. And yeah,
I
know
Vinny
this
sounds
year-
like he grew up in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
so.
I did every year at Edwards Apple Orchard. We went
Yep.
there.
I think I
Yep.
might be leaning more towards when Maddie gets a little bit older. Maybe we'll do like the painting pumpkin thing because that seems a lot easier.
Well, that's what we
unless-
do with our kids.
That seems a lot easier
Yeah.
than
Oh,
having
you
to scoop
paint?
out.
Oh,
Well,
I
I've
had
never
a-
done it before, but I'll try it.
Well, we
Yeah,
carved this. We actually carved both of
Okay.
them this year. So we
Nice.
carved and painted them. It was double whammy. So
Oh, nice.
wow.
double the mess. So
yeah. I
Even
had
better.
Did you ask your kids, Greg, what they want carved, and then you carve exactly what they want, or do you just carve it for them? Or how do you?
well,
I want to see your kids with
so this is
steak
this is
knives
our
trying to
this is
carve
this
it.
is how it went. So we bought them like two kind of smaller pumpkins. They just wanted me to cut open the top just so they could dig out all the seeds and
Oh, I
everything.
hate that part.
Okay.
So we cleaned it out, and then instead of carving those, they just painted those. And then there was one from Vince's pumpkin patch that we Ashley drew the design, like the ghost and the bat, and that was kind of like their carved pumpkin. While they're small, we ended up like we were sitting in the living room. There were like 10 pumpkins everywhere.
Oh God!
And there was just pumpkin guts and seeds everywhere. So and paint. And my dog, running all over, being an idiot. So
that's what I have to look forward to in the near future.
That's what you have to look forward to, especially if you have to find the perfect pumpkin in the patch. So, but yeah, no, growing up, it was Jewel. That was my pumpkin patch growing up. So, and it was so easy. It was a little easier.
It's a lot easier than running around in the field.
Yeah, but I do enjoy going in the field and taking it there. It's all part of the experience. So I'm thankful that I'm doing it. Some other traditions we have: Melissa putting up her Halloween village, like a Christmas village. That sounds kind of cool.
Oh God, she goes over and above. It's all it's like it's taking over the house. If she's listening, I know. At one point, I remember going over there. I'm like, "How do you do your dishes?" There's a Halloween village in the kitchen too. So she goes all out, and now Erica started that. Our fireplace, mantle, hearth, whatever it is on the bottom, is all.
There you go.
Decked out with the houses. I'm like, how are we gonna have a fire? And she goes, we don't have fires in October. And that's the response I got. So I said, okay.
Wait, you don't have fires? She's always cold.
We use our fireplace.
You have like fires year round.
We usually have it like twice a year. That's about how much we use our fireplace.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not very often, but no. So
friend of the pod, Vince, writes in, coming home after trick-or-treating and eating candy and watching movies, also carving pumpkins with my children.
Yes.
Pumpkins.
He pronounces it wrong. He thinks that it's pumpkins, not pumpkins.
Pumpkins. Well, it sounds like I don't know. Sounds like another great.
It sounds like a South Side Chicago thing because we've called it that too. So I will admit. Pumpkins. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what
you kind of drop the
M. Wrong with you guys?
South suburbs of Chicago.
The M and the P and
Is this like Trubinsky? Is this like Trubinsky?
It's like Trubinsky. Yeah. Trubisky. Yeah.
Andrea writes in, drinking apple cider in the driveway with the kids. Awesome. And Lynn writes in, seeing the grandkids in costumes. Obviously a new tradition that will go on for a long time.
Yep. So, you're right. So
good stuff. Thank you for writing in. Let's close it out with favorite movies and TV quickly. I mentioned mine already. I'll get to you guys in a second. I'll go Kristen from Facebook. David has pumpkins. Tom Hanks from SNL. There you go.
Yes. If you have, I watch that every year.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God, Vinny!
It's been a while since
it's. Now I know they did an animated like cartoon of it.
Okay, maybe that's what I haven't watched I'm thinking that, of.
So I have no idea how that is. But the original skit of David S. Pumpkins from SNL.
Yep.
It's just a really really weird. It's like attraction at a haunted house, and it gets weirder and weirder, and it's Tom Hanks being goofy. So I highly go on YouTube and Google Tom Hanks, David S. Pumpkins. You'll get some good stuff. So
we'll keep going down the list right here. Erica, Garfield Halloween, which we mentioned, Hocus Pocus, which was playing in my house tonight. I
have never seen Hocus Pocus to this day.
It's not that bad. It's not.
No?
I think when I first watched it, I was just like, whatever. But watching with my kids because they love it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny actually. And the Halloween movies, of course, Erica says, Melissa, Charlie Brown, The Great Pumpkin. No, Halloween, not for you, Justin.
No, I not to derail, but I know. So this week we've been trying to like go in shifts and take naps, so we're asleep, for the baby. And so she watches like all her Hulu creepy slasher films while I'm taking my nap.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up the other day at like 6 p.m. and I opened my eyes and someone was like getting their guts like torn apart and
perfect.
And I'm like, what are you watching? I'm like, good Lord. I'm like, this is awful. And
was it Halloween or
no? It was something called like it was called like Trick, and it was a bunch of high school kids who was going around killing people, and then they got other people to help them on Halloween. They'd start every year. They'd go around killing people.
Oh,
I was just like,
sounds great.
Yeah. And then I'm going down the rabbit hole of IMDb to see who the hell these actors are and why are they in this horrible movie. But she loved it. Let's go figure. So, yeah.
There we go. I'll finish off the list, guys, and I'll get to you really quick. Melissa, Charlie Brown, and The Great Pumpkin, of course. Shayla writes in, our friend Shayla on Twitter, Conjuring 2, The Ring, which I saw for the first time in a long time about a couple weeks ago. and The Guest, which I know she's huge on. I haven't seen it yet.
Which
Sorry,
one's that?
Sheila. It's a Dan Stevens movie. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
No.
So Dan Stevens is an actor that our dear friend Sheila wants to be the next James Bond. But it's a very interesting. I've read or she's told me about it. It's an interesting premise of the movie. So it sounds really good. I just have to get around to it, I suppose. But thank you, Shayla, for writing in. The Conjuring 2 was also really good. I still like the first one better, though. Our friend Chris writes in Hocus Pocus. There we go. Andrea, Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin again, and Hocus Pocus. And closing off with Lynn, Love Garfield Halloween, our favorite. And she was also bashing Halloween Kills, which I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But the floor is your guys' now to finish out the show right here. Any favorite movies, TV? Vinny,
Justin's probably got a big long list.
I do.
I wanted to conclude with his grand finale. So Vinny, what you got right now?
I mean, most of those were really good. Halloween, Garfield, Charlie Brown, those are all great. Anything that's scary, we'll try to watch around Halloween, but usually stick to Halloween. If we're gonna watch one, it's gonna be that around that time. And Charlie Brown, obviously, just because it's a classic. So yep, those two probably my favorite during this time.
Nice. I also want to give a shout out to my wife also, because we haven't done it in a couple years, but we did a Saw movie marathon.
Okay.
And I go ahead, Vinny.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I really love the first one. Yeah, I think the first one's amazing. After that, I always see Saw as kind of like a mini series, almost like it should be on TV, because they all like pick up one right after the other. I mean, it's fine, but that first one is a really good movie in my opinion. So, but we haven't done it in a couple of years, but when we used to do it, I really enjoyed watching those movies too. I guess enjoyed as much as you can, I suppose. Yeah. But the first one's great.
I thought you were gonna say double Toil and Trouble from
was that the Mary Kate net? No, she ended up buying that, but I don't. If I'm gonna watch anything Olsen, it's gonna be Marvel WandaVision. That's as far as much Olsen as I go to. So, and she's a fantastic actress too, Elizabeth Olsen. Yep. I mean, she beats the shit out of her sisters. So.
My sister was a big Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen fan, so I know I've seen at least parts of Double Toil and Trouble. More than I can say. So
not a big Twins fan, and that's the baseball team or the people. Maybe that's my thing. So. I don't know.
Fair enough.
You're not like Dwight. You don't like a good set of twins.
What is? And Michael's what is wrong with you?
Right. Yeah. And I drafted him, so maybe that was
that's
wrong.
True.
Yep, so.
That's true. That's
my
true.
Awful team.
Yes. Oh man.
All right, Justin. What do you? Anything?
All right.
Anything at all out there?
A couple I can run through. Okay. So in terms of movies, I actually like for Halloween, that would be limited to Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
All right.
That's about it.
We'll take it.
But I do remember a couple. Oh God, this would have been probably about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. One of our friends, Viv, she used to have a Halloween party, so we'd go over there, and she lived in the city, and we'd go there and we'd watch a bunch of scary movies. Now, I am not a scary movie fan, but obviously I want to go and hang out and see everybody. So I sat through, what's the movie? I can't think of the name where it's the cave diving one. And then there's monsters down underneath in the cave, and they tear everybody up and they eat everybody. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
The Cave.
No, not the Descendants, the Cave. There's like cave spelunking. They're going down, and there's like these like people that they're monsters, and they tear they made a sequel to it. This is really
I'm not sure.
Really good audio.
Yeah. Well, now I'm
trying to think of what it's called. Well, I'll keep going. So I remember I watched that, and that was actually good, but I just don't like that sense of like fear. I don't like not knowing. I know it's hard to believe, right?
No, not you, Justin.
So we watched that. They started watching Rosemary's Baby, and that I did not like. That's that one at all. That creeped me out.
That movie's creepy.
I've seen Poltergeist before. That creeped the hell out of me because I was only in I was probably only like 9 or 10. I saw that. I remember it was on HBO one day, like during the summer. Not a Halloween, but other Halloween movies I've seen. I remember when I was a kid, my mom she turned on, it was like Night of the Living Dead, like the first one. It was black and white.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I remember
watching that the other day.
I was like, I'll give this a shot. And then I lasted like 5 minutes and it freaked me out. And I'm like, nope, I can't watch this. So I'm trying to think what else. I've seen parts of Halloween.
Is there a movie that really like terrified you as a kid? Like, was there that one scene like I can't like anything that gave you nightmares as a kid?
Yeah, I want to say I remember Chucky creeping me out. I didn't see I didn't see it, but just the fact that it was a doll creeped me out. And Freddy Krueger. I remember seeing commercials for that around Halloween, like, oh, it was going to be a marathon. I'm like, nope, not watching that channel on Halloween. So heck, you're talking to the guy that was afraid to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark as a kid. So
really?
I do. A couple of years ago, we had a Halloween party with our friends. This would have been the Halloween right before COVID hit. And Erica got all her Are You Afraid of the Dark DVDs. And we did like a marathon. We watched as many as we could. I had a blast because the ones that scared the shit out of me as a kid are laughably horrible.
Yeah.
So you can finally stomach them now. Huh?
I can stomach them now. That's my level. That's my threshold. Are You Afraid of the Dark? So keep it under that. Bad acting, bad Canadian accents, and we're good. So yeah. So that's it. That's all I got.
That is fantastic, Justin. You mentioned a lot more. You've seen a lot more than I thought.
I've seen them.
I
didn't enjoy them. I know I did see. The last two I'll leave you with is I saw Chernobyl Diaries. Do you remember that movie?
I remember that.
Was,
I never saw it.
No, stupid. I remember going to see that.
And I like the Chernobyl stuff.
I like that stuff. Yeah. And then I remember going to see one of the Paranormal Activities for the first time as an adult.
Yeah.
And that movie, I enjoyed it, but I just remember like that whole, and I think we've talked about this on another episode, but like that whole like demonic possession stuff.
Yeah.
That is what scares me the most. Like
I love that.
I remember sitting in bed that night, and I was probably like in my mid-20s thinking there could be something right here just waiting. You know what I mean? So I don't do well with that. That would make
sense that you would think that, Justin.
Yeah, of course it does. And so that is why I have never seen The Exorcist, and I don't think I ever will. Because I think
it's a cinematic achievement, Justin.
I think they made the girls
never sleep
around,
again,
right? So I'll leave you with that one.
Awesome. Before we close out here, guys, anything else to add on Halloween?
I got nothing. I want to ask you guys. I know we're running long, but what's your favorite Halloween candy?
I was going to say. I was just going to say.
Got to end on that.
Talk about that. Let's hear it, Greg.
Oh gosh, so I'm gonna be. I think I have.
Is it Twix?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It almost was. It almost was, Vinny. It was a tie between three. The second and third place one was Twix and Milky Way. I'm a big Milky Way guy.
Okay.
I know Milky Way gets some hate, but to be honest, guys, I am there for the Kit Kats.
Those are good.
Oh, wow, okay.
Are we talking fun size or full size, Greg?
What's that?
Are we talking fun size or full size or king size?
Anything.
Okay.
All of it.
I grew up in a purely fun size. We are still a fun size household. We don't give out full size candy. So I don't know.
Well, I only got the full size Kit Kat once trick or treating.
Wow.
He gave me two. I remember he gave me a full size Kit Kat and a full size Snickers.
Wow, yeah,
good. Any Kit Kat, even the white chocolate or the white cream.
Well, that's good.
Amazing.
I haven't had those yet.
They're so good. Yeah, for some reason I always go back to the stinking Kit Kats. I love them to death. I'm probably gonna go have like 10 upstairs now because I know they're sitting in my kids' candy baskets.
Shit, I gotta go buy Halloween candy. We don't have any of that because we've been home for the last 2 weeks. So
Go buy some. It's coming up.
Oh man.
So that was mine.
That's yours.
Vinny, how about you? What was yours?
Reese's all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Job.
I love that candy.
I'm not the biggest peanut butter guy, but like Reese's peanut butter cups are amazing. I will say
peanut butter cups, the fast break bars, any of that, nutrageous. But usually you get the peanut butter cups for Halloween.
Yeah,
and those
I do love.
Those are good. Those are really good. Nice.
Well, you, Justin, can you get candy? Is it going to be candy corn? Or are you going to?
No, I do.
Are you going to say dots?
No, Juji fruit.
No. Candy corn, I love. I will die on that hill. That is, but
that's a bad hill to die on.
I just think of that isn't something you get trick or treating. That is my mom will have a bowl out. Like even
Yeah.
When did I go back there? I went back there and I went back up to visit them in maybe early September, and my mom already had all her Halloween decorations out. And sure enough, right on the table, bowl of candy corn. I was just double fisted.
Was it the candy corn from when you were a kid?
It was the same. No, I ate all that
stuff. The same bag. She went to Costco once and just reusing the same bag.
But I bought myself a bag of candy corn last week before we went to the hospital.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I was like, oh well, I guess I should.
You're not bullshitting.
No, but in terms of
seriously,
when I'm going trick or treating, give me some peanut M&Ms. I love peanut M&Ms. Twix are good. The old Butterfinger recipe was good. I'm not too big on the new Butterfinger recipe.
I've never been on Butterfinger.
And I mean, it does cut up your mouth, but and then other than that, I like my Skittles. I'm a good sour guy too.
There you go.
Skittles. So
do you take your Starburst and put it between a Skittle, wrap it into Skittle?
I have not tried that. I might have
Andy
to try
Dwyer.
That. I have not. I might need to try that.
I forgot what he called this. He called it, but yeah, he was telling. I forgot they were creating stuff, and he was talking about how he created. Putting a Skittle inside a Starburst.
I remember even as a kid, we would go visit my grandma for Halloween to show her our costumes, and her neighbor worked for Pepsi. So we would always hit his house because he would just give us cans of Pepsi along with our candy, which is not a big deal when you think about it. But as a kid, getting a can of Pepsi in your bag full of candy was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Hell yeah.
Even though I could just go home and grab a can of Pepsi myself. But so there you go.
I also got to give a shout out, even though you don't really get them you get the mini ones on Halloween, but Twizzlers. I mean, Twizzlers might be my favorite candy of all time.
I'm a Red Vine guy.
I know. Everyone gives me shit for Twizzlers, but I love them. I'll buy the bag if I see them there at the store. It's hard to resist. So Red Vines are good too.
I'll eat a Twizzler, but it's not. I mean, if they're there, I'm not gonna turn it.
I have down like the $2 bags you can buy in the candy aisle. Yeah, I've downed those. I've downed those on the way home pretty much. Sometimes I have to.
And you gotta hide the evidence too.
You got Ace Ventura there or something, in the car. So
that's awesome.
Have we covered everything, boys? Halloween? Probably not.
I think so.
We'll have to wait until the next.
Probably way too much. Right?
Halloween
exactly.
Extravaganza.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Even if it's after Halloween and you miss the original, I guess, cut off for lack of a better word, but still send in your Halloween.
Yeah, let us know.
Whatever. We
Favorite
will
costumes.
read it. We want to know costumes, candy, traditions, movies, TV.
Yeah.
We will read it. We love hearing from you. So
for sure.
Happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. Happy
Halloween.
The whatever section today.
Awesome.
So Justin, are you gonna close
I can close it out.
Here?
So real quick, in terms of other happenings, be sure to go to the 3 Spot, check out their website. We did a logo review for AA teams in the Midwest. You can see what we thought of the Chattanooga Lookouts and Tennessee Smokies and all that good stuff. We also Vinny has taken the lead on the merchandise because I've been indisposed the last week or so, trying to catch up on my sleep. But we are getting I'm so excited that we're getting like free merch for us to try it out.
Yes.
We have a really cool logo that's been in the works. And then hopefully within the next week or two, maybe people can start buying those. If you want to buy a logo, it does not have our face. Maybe we'll save that for another time. You can pick. We could do a sale between like me, Vinny, and Greg and see whose face gets bought the most. That would be kind of interesting. And then when it's 0 for all 3, we'll be very proud.
I'll be like, yep, that's about what we expected.
But check that out. We'll share more about that. Follow us on Twitter at Baseball and What. Email us baseballandwhatever@gmail.com and facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. Those are your 3 best ways to get a hold of us. Boys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me on this Halloween extravaganza, spooktacular scare fest place thing. I don't know. Perfect. And we will end on that. See you next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.